99 years old, I've lived nearly a century, survived the Great Depression, World War II, watched the moon landing on a tiny black and white television, and now I'm watching my great-grandchildren video chat with people on the other side of the world. My name is Ruth Kessler, and I'm not here to give you warm, fuzzy wisdom about how beautiful life is. I'm here to tell you about the 5 mistakes that stole half my life. 50 years, gone. Wasted on things that didn't matter and fears that were never real. I made these mistakes so you don't have to. So listen close, because I don't have time to sugarcoat anything. When you're 99, you stop worrying about being polite and start worrying about being honest. Mistake number 1, I cared what people thought. Oh, this one cost me decades. I grew up in the 1930s in Brooklyn, daughter of Jewish immigrants, and in my world, appearances were everything. What would the neighbors think? What would the ladies at Temple say? What would the family back in Poland hear about us? Every decision I made, every single one, went through this filter. Not what do I want, but what will people think? I wanted to go to college. City college was free. I was smart enough. I'd gotten good grades, but nice Jewish girls in 1943 didn't go to college. They got married, they had babies, they kept house. My mother said, "What will people say, that we couldn't find you a husband, that you think you're better than everyone else?" So I didn't go. I got engaged to Saul Kessler instead. Nice boy, good family, everyone approved. And I buried the part of me that wanted more. I wanted to work. Even after we got married, I wanted to do something, use my brain. But Saul said, "What will people think, that I can't provide for my wife?" So I stayed home, kept a perfect house, hosted perfect dinners, wore perfect dresses, smiled perfect smiles. And I was dying inside. I was 40 years old before I finally got a job, part-time bookkeeping at my cousin's pharmacy. And even then I felt guilty. I felt like I was doing something shameful, because that's what decades of caring what people think does to you. You know what I learned? People don't think about you nearly as much as you think they do. They're too busy worrying about what you think of them. All those people whose opinions I was so worried about, half of them are dead now, and the other half don't remember half the things I was so worried they'd judge me for. I wasted 40 years performing for an audience that wasn't even paying attention. Don't make that mistake. Live your life for you. Not for your mother, not for your neighbors, not for people you went to high school with who you'll never see again. Their opinions don't pay your bills. They don't keep you warm at night. They don't matter. Mistake number 2, I avoided conflict at all costs. I thought being a good wife, a good mother, a good person meant never making waves, never disagreeing, never standing up for myself. Just smile and nod and keep the peace. This killed my marriage, slowly, quietly, but it killed it. Sewell would make decisions without consulting me, where we'd live, how we'd spend money, how we'd raise the kids, and I'd bite my tongue, swallow my opinions, tell myself it wasn't worth fighting about. But resentment builds, year after year, small slight after small slight, until you're not angry about the thing that just happened. You're angry about 30 years of things you never said. We had 3 children, and I let Saul make all the major decisions about their lives, where they'd go to school, what activities they'd do. He wasn't a bad man, but he didn't know our kids the way I did. I was with them every day. Our daughter Sarah wanted to be an artist. She was talented, really talented, but Saul said art was a hobby, not a career. He pushed her toward teaching instead, something practical. He said, I knew he was wrong. I knew Sarah would be miserable, but I didn't fight him. I didn't want conflict, so I stayed quiet. Sarah became a teacher, hated it, quit after 5 years, and spent the next decade trying to figure out who she was. She barely speaks to me now. Says I never stood up for her, never protected her from her father's rigidity. She's right. I learned too late that conflict isn't the enemy. Conflict is just two people caring enough to be honest. It's messy, yes. Uncomfortable, yes. But it's real. Avoiding conflict doesn't create peace. It creates distance. It creates resentment. It creates relationships where nobody really knows each other because everyone's too busy pretending. I was 70 years old before I learned how to disagree with someone without feeling like the world was ending. 70 years old before I learned that you can love someone and still tell them they're wrong. Don't wait that long. Speak up. Have the hard conversations. Fight for what matters. The temporary discomfort of conflict is nothing compared to the permanent damage of silence. Mistake number 3. I held grudges. Oh, I was good at this one. I could hold a grudge like nobody's business. Someone would slight me, hurt me, disappoint me, and I'd nurse that wound for years, decades even. My sister Esther borrowed $500 from me in 1968, never paid it back. And for 20 years, I held on to that, brought it up in arguments, used it as ammunition, let it poison every interaction we had. You know what's funny? I don't even remember what the money was for. But I remember the bitterness. I remember the way it felt to keep that grudge alive, like I was protecting myself, like I was teaching her a lesson. All I was doing was hurting myself. Esther died in 1991, and the last real conversation we had was an argument about something stupid, something I can't even remember now. And I never got to tell her I loved her, never got to say I was sorry for holding on to hurt for so long. That grudge didn't protect me. It stole my sister from me. I held grudges against my kids for normal kid stuff, for being selfish teenagers, for not calling enough in their 20s, for living their own lives instead of the lives I'd imagined for them. And every grudge, every piece of resentment I held on to, it just built a wall between us, until my kids felt like they couldn't do anything right, until they stopped trying. I was 75 before I started apologizing, before I started letting things go, before I realized that being right was less important than being connected. Holding grudges is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It doesn't hurt them. It hurts you. It makes you bitter and small and lonely. Forgive people, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free of the weight you're carrying. Life is too short to spend it angry. Mistake number 4, I waited for permission. Permission to take up space. Permission to have needs. Permission to want things, permission to be more than what others expected me to be. I waited my whole life for someone to tell me it was okay to be myself, to pursue my interests, to take risks, to live fully. And that permission never came, because nobody can give you permission to be yourself except you. I wanted to travel, wanted to see the world, but I waited for Sewell to want to go, waited for the kids to be older, waited for retirement, waited for the right time. Sewell died at 71, heart attack, sudden. And I was 68, alone, and I'd never been anywhere. I finally traveled at 70, took a group tour to Italy, and I cried on the Ponte Vecchio in Florence. Cried because it was beautiful, and cried because I could have done this 30 years earlier if I'd just given myself permission. I wanted to learn piano, always wanted to, but I told myself I was too old, too busy, that it was silly for someone my age to start something new. I finally took lessons at 82 years old, and you know what? I was terrible. My fingers didn't work right. My brain was slow, but I loved it, every frustrating minute of it. I wished I'd started at 52, or 42, or 22. I could have had decades of making music instead of just a few years. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to want what you want. Stop waiting for the right time or the right circumstances. Give yourself permission now, today, to take up space, to have dreams, to start over, to try new things, to be imperfect and messy and gloriously, unapologetically yourself. You're allowed. You've always been allowed. Mistake number 5. I believed I had all the time in the world. This is the big one, the one that underlies all the others. I thought I'd have time. Time to go back to school. Time to repair relationships. Time to forgive. Time to travel. Time to start living the life I actually wanted instead of the life I'd settled for. I thought 40 was young, then 50, then 60. I kept thinking, I'll do it next year, when things settle down, when I'm ready. But things never settle down, and you're never ready, and next year becomes next decade becomes never. My friend Dorothy used to say, Ruth, we should take that trip to California, see the redwoods before we're too old. And I'd say, next year, Dot, let's plan for next year. Dorothy died at 73. Never saw those redwoods, and neither did I. Because once she was gone, I couldn't bring myself to go without her. Time is the one thing you can't get back. You can make more money. You can make new friends. You can start over in a new career, but you can't make more time. Every day you waste is gone forever. Every opportunity you postpone might not come around again. Every someday might become never. I'm 99 years old. If I'm lucky, I have a few months left, maybe a year or two, and I spend a lot of time thinking about all the years I wasted, all the time I spent being afraid, being small, being who others wanted me to be. I spent 50 years, half my life, making these 5 mistakes, caring what people thought, avoiding conflict, holding grudges, waiting for permission, believing I had all the time in the world, and I can't get those years back. I can't redo my marriage. I can't rebuild my relationship with my daughter. I can't travel to all the places I never went. I can't learn all the things I never tried, but you can. You still have time. Maybe not as much as you think, but enough to stop making these mistakes, enough to start living differently. Stop caring what people think. Have the hard conversations, forgive quickly, give yourself permission, and understand that time is finite. Your life is happening right now, not someday, not when circumstances are perfect. Now. I wasted half my life, don't waste yours. You think you have time, but you don't know that. None of us do. So stop waiting, stop hiding, stop playing small. Live big, live honestly, live now. Because I promise you, when you're 99 years old looking back, you won't regret the things you did. You'll regret the things you didn't do. Don't end up like me, full of regrets and what-ifs. Live your life, the real one, the one you actually want, before it's too late.